Bonjour. My name is Illo Humphrey. I'm a medievalist, specialist in Boethius, the last great Platonic philosopher of antiquity. This morning we're going to discuss briefly Boethius, the liberal arts, the origin of the medieval university, which is called primitively Studia Generalia, and the fundamentally humanitarian aspect of this institution born out of the medieval society. With me today is Jim Downing, my friend from UCF. He's going to be asking me questions, and we're going to be discussing this subject leisurely, just to sort of see how things evolved on the European soil as of Boethius, who died in the year 524.
Good morning, Illo. It's always a pleasure to be with you. Take me through a little bit why you believe Boethius was actually the forerunner of the medieval university.
Well, because Boethius was what one might call the father of the liberal arts. He bequeathed to the European general culture the curriculum, a well-established curriculum on the liberal arts, which gave them a very sound basis for their new branch of educational systems.
And who were some of his antecedents? You say he codified it or carried
yes,
the torch.
Yes, he did. The antecedents of Boethius are, of course, Plato, who lived 1,000 years before Boethius, 33 generations before Boethius. But Boethius is a direct intellectual, philosophical, scientific, and pedagogical descendant of Plato, Aristotle, Euclid, who wrote the famous Elements, the famous treatise on geometry, the fundamental treatise that everyone studies on geometry. So these are the basic antecedents of Boethius.
Mm. And did Cicero play a role in this at all?
Yes, Cicero played a very important role in this chain of events. Cicero was the man who himself was a fantastic, learned man, a philosopher, a scholar, a senator, an orator, a lawyer. And he did his year or so studies in Athens, as all learned young men did in his day, about the century before the Christian era. Cicero filtered through the Latin language all of the vocabulary, or most all of the scientific philosophical vocabulary of the his Greek ancestors.
I see. So you see Boethius as a torch carrier for fundamentally the Greek educational process.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Boethius is a torch carrier. That's exactly what he did.
And why had the Greek educational system declined?
Well, I guess one might say civilizations, as all human organisms, get old and get weak and eventually die. So at Boethius's period, we're in the beginning of the 6th century of the Christian era, so to speak. We are observing the decline of an entire civilization that was more than 1,000 years old.
So the decline of the Roman civilization politically is what caused the decline of the Greek approach to education?
That's exactly right, because they espoused completely the Greek approach. They did not seek to discard it when they came into power under Caesar Augustus. When they came into imperial power, so to speak, under Caesar Augustus, they espoused completely, and even 100 to 200 years before Caesar Augustus, they had espoused completely the Greek culture.
And what was the purpose of the medieval university?
The medieval university was created in order to manage the basic fundamental problem of knowledge and ignorance. That is in a broader sense. From a more practical sense, the medieval university was founded in order to, just as the medieval hospital was founded in order to keep at bay inordinate non-hygiene, non-sanitation, etc. The medieval university was founded in order to manage the exponentially growing urban medieval society and in order to intellectually and cognitively manage the hygiene between the very delicate equilibrium of the intellectual and cognitive hygiene between knowledge and ignorance.
That's an unusual phrase, cognitive hygiene. Could you expand on that a
Yes,
little?
of course. What do I mean by cognitive hygiene, and why do I use this word? I use this word hygiene because Plato himself uses this word in his laws. In his great treatise, Laws, it is his last and greatest treatise. And in this treatise, Plato gives us an outline of what he considers to be the supreme good. And he juxtaposes hygiene to the supreme goodness. And he juxtaposes hygiene to supreme wisdom. And so in reading and rereading this, this concept of hygiene as it's juxtaposed to wisdom, I came gradually to understand that Plato is actually talking about the management of knowledge and the management of ignorance.